regular meeting of the Los Angeles Board of Police Commissioners. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Good morning. Please let the record reflect Commissioners Gordon, Shields, Garcia, and Scobin are present, and we have a quorum. Madam President.
We welcome everyone attending this morning. All public comment will be heard during item 2 on the agenda. We will dedicate a total of 45 minutes to public comment. Members of the public will have 1 minute per agenda item for a maximum of 2 minutes total. At the request of the speaker will be given 1 additional minute for general public comment for a maximum of 3 total minutes. Members of the public, if you choose to participate in the public comment portion of the agenda, you can participate in this meeting in a number of ways outlined on the agenda. Members of the public who participate in public comment are reminded that they can speak to any item on the agenda or a matter within the jurisdiction of the Board of Police Commissioners. Public comment is your opportunity to address the board, so you are free to express your opinion on matters before the board and to generally express when you disagree with other opinions expressed. However, directing your comments to other individuals who have spoken or attacking others who have expressed their opinions shall be deemed off topic, and your public comment period will be concluded. Message to those attending the meeting in person. These meetings are regular meetings between the board, the department, and key stakeholders. Meetings of the Board of Police Commissioners are open to the public. The state's Ralph M. Brown Act affords the public the opportunity to be present at the meetings, hear the presentations, and dialogue in real time, and provide feedback via the public comment period. During these meetings, there is a need for the board to carry out the public business expeditiously without delays or disruptions. Members of the audience shall not engage in any conduct which causes an actual disruption of the meeting. Those attending in person are reminded that disruptive behavior will be cause for removal. If you disrupt this meeting, you will be provided with only 1 warning to cease disruptive behavior. If you fail to cease such behavior, you will be removed from the meeting. All attendees must be seated. Failure to follow this rule will result in a warning and/or removal from the meeting. Before we move to item 1, I would like to acknowledge the departure of the Commissioner of Dr. Errol Southers. Dr. Southers served the commission with distinction, and he led the commission and the department through significant leadership changes, including the selection of a new chief of police, a new executive director of the commission, and the selection of a new inspector general. We wish him well. He will be missed. Last but not least, I would like to welcome our newest commissioner, Mr. Jeff Scobin, who was confirmed by the Los Angeles City Council this past Wednesday, October 22nd, and is joining us today for his first board meeting. Mr. Scobin has lived a life of service in various capacities as he grew up and into his professional career. We are pleased to have him here, and Mr. Scobin, we look forward to working with you. Would you like to say a few words, Mr. Scobin?
Sure, thank you, Commission President. It's a true honor to serve as Police Commissioner. As mentioned during my confirmation process, I'm committed to listen first, build trust through transparency, and focus on results. It's not lost on me that our job here is to serve the people of Los Angeles. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, we move now to a report of the Chief of Police. There have been significant incidents from October 7th to 25 to October 28th, the crime statistics and the personal strength. Chief?
Good morning, President Sanchez Gordon, Commissioners, Inspector General Barragan, City Attorney De La Guerra, Executive Director Sibley, and a warm welcome to our newest Commissioner, Jeff Scobin. Today I'll be covering key events from the past 3 weeks, share our latest crime trends, and provide an update on our staffing levels. First, I want to begin this morning by extending my heartfelt condolences to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department and to the family of Deputy Andrew Nunez. His passing is a senseless tragedy that hits close to home for all of us in law enforcement. No matter the patch or the badge, when we lose one of our own, we all feel it. It's a reminder of the dangers our officers face every day and the courage it takes to put on this uniform and serve. Our thoughts are with his family, his partners, and the entire San Bernardino Sheriff's Department during this very difficult time. Last week, I attended the Major City Chiefs Association and International Association of Chiefs of Police conferences out in Denver. It was an opportunity to collaborate and exchange ideas with law enforcement leaders from around the country. Many of the challenges we face here in Los Angeles are shared by departments nationwide, and it was valuable to discuss how each is addressing them. What stood out most was the continued respect for the LAPD. Our approach and forward-thinking strategies remain a model for many. Several of our department members gave presentations sharing their expertise and helping other agencies learn from our experiences. I was proud of the strong representation by everyone who attended, and throughout the week, I was reminded just how much credibility and admiration our department continues to earn nationwide and literally worldwide. During the past 3 weeks, we've had no officer-involved shootings. Year-to-date, we remain at 35 officer-involved shootings. On Saturday, October 18th, the city of Los Angeles was among several cities across the nation that experienced No Kings protests, which was part of a series of demonstrations taking place throughout the country since June of this year. Throughout the day, multiple planned events occurred across the city and remained largely peaceful. However, as evening approached, tensions escalated, acts of vandalism were reported, and officers observed several individuals arming themselves with metal poles in violation of the Municipal Code Section 5507. Additionally, personnel reported the use of a laser and strobe lights being directed toward their eyes. At approximately 1848 hours, an unlawful assembly was declared in the downtown area due to escalating disorder. As skirmish lines were formed, the crowd began to confront officers. The department's airship also reported a laser being directed at an aircraft from within a crowd. At 1852 hours, the unlawful assembly was announced and dispersal orders were issued, providing participants 15 minutes to disperse with clear direction of travel. Despite repeated announcements, the crowd became increasingly agitated, throwing rocks, bottles, and fireworks at officers. Authorization for the use of less lethal munitions was granted shortly thereafter. It took until approximately 22:45 hours to fully disperse the crowd. An overall incident summary: uses of force 7, arrests 12 adults, 2 juveniles. The juveniles were later released to parents. Less lethal munitions were deployed: 40 millimeter 37 and FN 303. Injuries: there were 2 citizens, one sustained a foot injury after stepping in front of a moving black and white, and one sustained a head laceration due to unintentional contact with a horse. One officer was injured due to a laser being directed into his eyes. On October 21st, the department received notification that the Department of Homeland Security was involved in an officer-involved shooting within the city of Los Angeles. Prior to this incident, our department had not been informed that any type of immigration enforcement operation was being conducted in the city. In accordance with department protocol, Robbery Homicide Division detectives responded to investigate the incident, as we do for all outside agency officer-involved shootings that occur within city limits. The Federal Bureau of Investigation also responded and will conduct a parallel investigation into the shooting. Following the conclusion of the on-scene investigation, as an RHD detective was leaving the area, he noticed a silver Hyundai following his unmarked vehicle and repeatedly honking its horn. As the detective approached Maple Avenue and Olympic Boulevard, the driver of the Hyundai attempted to ram the detective's vehicle. The detective activated his emergency lights and siren and requested backup. The suspect continued his aggressive actions for approximately 10 blocks. Newton patrol officers responded, conducted a traffic stop, and safely took the suspect into custody. A search of the suspect's vehicle revealed a backpack containing a brick, a 17-inch folding knife, a ski mask, gloves, and 2 books, The Communist Manifesto and the History of Durango, Mexico. This case was assumed by Major Crimes Division, Criminal Investigations Section, and on October 22nd, Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office filed 1 count of assault with a deadly weapon on a police officer and 1 count of resisting or obstructing an executive officer against the suspect. On Saturday, October 25th, at about 18:30 hours, Central Area officers responded to a backup request from a Department of Transportation officer. Upon arrival, officers encountered a large and hostile crowd, and almost immediately, individuals within the crowd began throwing rocks, bottles, and other hard objects at responding officers and were observed vandalizing a Waymo vehicle. Due to the hostile behavior, a help call was broadcast, prompting additional resources to the area. Skirmish lines and blocking forces were established to contain and direct the crowd away from the immediate area. Given the continued behavior of the crowd, authorization for use of less lethal munitions was granted. In 1913, a dispersal order was issued, and by about 1945 hours, the crowd had successfully dispersed and order was restored. Incident summary: less lethal munitions. There were 29 40-millimeter rounds deployed. There were 4 baton strikes. There were one suspect. Property damage. 1 vandalism report completed regarding the Waymo vehicle. On October 23rd, the ORCTF, the Organized Retail Theft Task Force, in North Hollywood area, with the assistance of Metropolitan Division and Gang and Narcotics Division, executed 3 residential search warrants targeting the Shade Snatcher crew. This group of criminals typically steals a heavy-duty vehicle and uses it to ram closed businesses to bypass their security features. Multiple suspects then ransack the location and flee. This crew is responsible for approximately $2.7 million in theft and nearly $500,000 in property damage. During a search of one location, investigators learned the location of a wanted suspect and conducted a follow-up where the suspect was located and arrested. The operation resulted in the arrest of 3 suspects for commercial burglary and 1 for interfering with a police investigation. Recovered items included stolen eyewear, 3 rifles, 2 of those confirmed stolen, 1 ghost gun, 1 assault pistol with a silencer, and nearly $12,000 in cash. On October 24th, the District Attorney's Office filed 12 felony counts for burglary, conspiracy, and weapons violations. For the 4-week period ending October 25th, compared to the previous 4-week period, combined person and property crimes decreased 7.1%, persons crimes declined 10.1%, while property dropped 6.1%. Year-to-date, homicides are down 22.7% compared to last year. Victims shot year-to-date totals are down 8%. Aggravated assaults are down 8.7%. Robberies down 6.7% for the 4-week period. Firearms recovered are up 15.5% for the year-to-date. Burglaries are up 2.5% or 18 additional crime for the 4-week period. Residential burglaries rose 5.8% or 25 citywide. Non-res burglaries decreased 5.4%. Motor vehicle thefts increased 2.3%, which is 31 additional stolens citywide. Overall, while the city continues to experience positive trends in violent crime reduction, we're maintaining focused attention and deploying resources to address emerging increases in specific areas. Command staff are conducting targeted reviews to ensure that deployment, visibility, and enforcement strategies remain aligned with evolving crime patterns across the city. On a personnel strength report, our sworn personnel as of October 27th is 8,646. Civilian personnel professional staffing at 2,537, and we have 345 reserve officers. That concludes my report to the commission this morning, Madam President.
Thank you, Chief, and welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chief, for the report. And my sincere condolences to the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department for their loss of their deputy. Very tragic. And I had a few questions. First, starting with the officer-involved shooting involving federal agents on October 21st. there an ongoing parallel investigation being conducted by the department? And is the federal government, those federal agents cooperating in that investigation?
Yeah, there's an ongoing parallel investigation. Robbery homicide, as I mentioned, is doing their investigation to deal with the crime that occurred in the city. And the FBI is doing their investigation on the shooting.
Thank you.
Sure.
And ahead of the No Kings protest, there's been some, issues that arose with the department and the city attorney's office taking certain legal action regarding the injunction relating to the treatment of the journalists. I feel like it's, the commission, we're not always briefed on these types of things. We're not briefed on ongoing litigation, particularly in the public setting, but I would ask that at least on a regular basis, we have in closed sessions some description and explanation as to why certain legal actions are being taken. Because again, I think we learn about it in the news just as other people are, and I think we should be getting briefed in closed session about ongoing litigation involving the department, and particularly why the department was seeking relief of the injunction. One other thing, and I think this will be for a longer conversation and a further presentation. I understand that the controller has released a report relating to the department's use of the mental evaluations unit and the use of SMART teams. And I think the responding to calls involving individuals experiencing mental health crises has been a top priority of the commission and myself. And I think that it would be good to understand fully what the capabilities are of those units. My understanding is that there is a shortage of LA County clinicians, and that's one of the reasons why there aren't as many units available, but that would be something good to understand. And I think oftentimes when we talk about it as a co-responder model, we've asked about well, what role do they play? And it sounds like, although it appears like they are co-responder, there are limitations on what the clinicians are willing to do and when they can exert themselves in a situation. So I think having a full briefing to the commission about that role and any other kind of feedback you have about the controller's report and recommendations, I think would be very helpful for us to understand.
Great.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fabian Garcia?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Chief, for the report.
Thank you, sir.
Really just condolences to the family of the San Bernardino Sheriff, and welcome to the new commissioner. Looking forward to working with you. Thank you.
Our new commissioner, Jeff Skobin, do you have any questions?
Yes.
You may proceed.
Thank you for the report,
Thank you.
Chief. I echo the sentiments for the fallen officer. My question relates to the No Kings protests. I'm happy to hear that overall things were peaceful and things turned. Specifically, I want to talk about, I had seen some videos on social media, and I recognize that the videos don't necessarily tell the whole story, but one particular video I saw drew my interest in large part because of what was said by the person filming. It appeared as though an officer fired a less lethal round at a journalist, and the person, was yelling, "Why are you shooting? He's from the press. They're exempt from dispersal order." My question is, one, have you seen the video? And if so, do you have any comments on it?
Yeah, I have not seen that video, but I would look forward to seeing it, and we'll look into it.
Jeff will never see the video. He's never seen them. He'll never see any of them.
You can't see a video with your eyes closed. I sent it to you.
Follow-up question, as it relates to the injunction. I was just curious, was the department consulted by the city attorney about withdrawing the injunction or not?
We'd probably talk offline about that. Yeah. Anything with,
Turn the accountability, please, though.
Anything with pending litigation would be a closed session topic.
Roll over, Jeff. Roll over. Show your tummy.
Excuse me, I'm a victim of the police department and of the court system, and I would like to have a chance to express myself. May I?
Have you signed in at the back? Yes. Okay, then you will be called, okay?
We have a 45 minutes.
All right, Chief, did you finish?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Police station, I've been there 40 times. I'm a victim of mortgage and loan fraud, bank fraud. I'm a victim of my ex-husband who runs a private equity firm who seems to have special connection to the bank. He has done SEC filing that's fraud.
Okay, just a moment, please, excuse me. If you signed in, you will have an opportunity to speak. If you haven't signed in, then we'll give you a card and,
I want to make sure because, ma'am, I have been a victim now for 4 years with my children. I'm a doctor of psychology. I'm a refugee. I'm also a survivor of World Trade Center as a banker. I want to have my place to speak. I've been to the police station of Butler Street.
Okay.
My car stolen.
what is your name? What is your name?
My name is Gina Gotts. I'm
Miss God, we will give you the card, fill it out, and then give it to an officer. And if you need more assistance, we have one of the officers who will listen to your request. Thank you. Chief, I do have a question for you, and it does involve the filing from the city of that ex parte motion on the No Kings protest, asking the court to lift or narrow the injunction limiting the LAPD's use of force against journalists. As you know, the judge denied that request. Could you share with us, Chief, what are those things that you are able to share? Because I know that we are in litigation. The developments, I know that Commissioner Shields talked about a parallel investigation, and you did address it, but I think the public would appreciate you addressing what has occurred, also what guidance has been issued in light of the court's order.
Not gonna let you talk about it. Carlos, hop up to the mic. Carlos, hop up to the mic. Let us know what you're talking about.
Chief?
Thank you. Yeah, as far as the legalities of it, I would refer to the city attorney on that topic. As far as the spirit of what we're looking for is to be able to allow our officers to have access to less lethal force options so that we don't have to escalate beyond that. Officers arrive at a scene and are dealing with people who are often violent, and it's important that they have the tools necessary to protect themselves and the public out there. So in the injunction, it talks about things that are already part of our policy. We don't use less lethal force on a person in their face, their neck, or other regions of their body. Our policy is very specific as to what's allowable and what's not. And so I'd be happy to arrange for, if you'd like, a commission presentation on what our less lethal force options are and how they're deployed.
Thank you, Chief. I would like to have that report as to determining how the department is complying with that court order.
Sure, sure.
I do have another question, and again, it follows up on a question from Commissioner Shields. On October 21st, the federal agents did shoot at a man while conducting an immigration operation and injured a U.S. Marshal. Could you please confirm whether the LAPD had any operational role beyond the traffic support in that incident? And also, is the department conducting any review or coordination related to that incident?
Yeah, the incident that occurred that day, LAPD responded. We had no prior notification of what was occurring. We responded to a help call from an outside agency. Officers responded. They got there and determined what was going on. They did, I believe, place handcuffs on the suspect. And then, once they realized that it was an immigration enforcement effort, they kept the peace at the scene, called for detective support. Robbery homicide rolled out there, secured the scene, and the FBI conducted the investigation on the shooting itself.
And Chief, was that a mutual aid call or a help call?
No, it was a help call. Yeah, mutual aid is a different process where you go through department chain of command, through the sheriff's office to get available resources from other jurisdictions. That was not the case.
And the LAPD does track mutual aid or help calls, is that correct?
We don't keep a log currently on that, but we have the ability to be able to query that by agency, by location, or through the system.
Okay. Any further questions from any commissioner on those issues? No. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, we're now on item number 2, public comment period. We'll begin with Bambi Salcido.
Buenos dias. Good morning. My name is Bambi Salcedo, and I do have the privilege to be the president and the CEO of the Trans-Latino Coalition, which is the biggest translator organization in the United States. I am here before you as a concerned citizen who has been living in Los Angeles since 1987, who has been brutally violated by Los Angeles Police Department multiple times, incarcerated, and because just my life experience. I now have the opportunity to lead a national organization that focuses specifically on uplift the livelihood of transgender, expansive, and intersex people. And because I have the ability and the opportunity to reform my life and to do what I do, it is my duty to also uplift the livelihood of my community. I have worked multiple times or attempt to work with LAPD for decades. I have done multiple trainings. I did the academy. I've done many things. And my efforts and many of our community efforts have not worked. Chief McDonald, you know who I am. And I am here specifically to uplift the memory of Linda Becerra Moran. I did have the privilege to overcome the many challenges, but Linda did not. Linda was brutally shot by this department. Linda will not have the opportunity to achieve her dreams, to be the beautiful person that she was. And it was simply because the stupidity of an officer. And I am just here to give memory to Linda and to all of our communities who continue to be violated by this department in multiple ways. Trans women specifically continue to be continue to be targets of violence by our society, politically and in many different ways. And when we are trying to empower our community to go to LAPD and to seek support and to be supported the way they deserve, they continue to be turned away. Even some of the advocates that we have at our organization, when they go with them, they don't want to get reports. They don't want to believe people. Essentially, they don't want to do their jobs. And so I'm just here to really advocate and see how is it? What is it that it needs to happen for our people to be supported the way that we need to be supported? Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next speaker, Audit LA via
President,
Zoom.
President, real quick, can I just make a suggestion that to the extent you are aware of anyone who is not following protocol or like neglect of duty, please report that and it will be investigated.
I've done that for 30 years.
And there, to the extent that you're aware of any specific ones that can be investigated, that officer there will be able to speak with you.
I mean, who, other than the chief, who is the one who makes decisions? Of course, the new commissioner, but what is it that is going to take for this institution to change?
Thank you.
Okay, now we have via Zoom, Audit. Go ahead.
Good morning,
Are you there?
hello? Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, good morning, all items, please.
Okay, go ahead.
A couple of weeks ago, I came and I asked you to not allow LAPD to join forces with Scientology at the, Faith in Blue event. And everything that I said turned out to be correct. It was not an interfaith event. It was purely Scientology. And Laura FM and we just arrived, and it was not even on Scientology property. It was at Hollywood Presbyterian. And Scientology they kicked us out and demanded the police to kick us out, saying that they didn't want us there, that we're troublemakers. And we are not, we're not troublemakers. We are critics, but we had zero intent of doing any kind of trouble. We, we're, like like looking and watching and looking at what's going on, and just wanted to enjoy the event and see what was going on. Like a journalistic thing. No intent of protesting or doing anything. And so it's called prior restraint. It's called viewpoint discrimination. And LAPD did kick us out. And we didn't even do anything. We just went into the property. And so I asked for a supervisor. He turned it right around. He let us in, but still we got kicked out. And he even admitted, like, they even saw it by the end of the day. It was just a Scientology event. And then the other thing is that they had a permit for Saturday and Sunday last week for the Day of the Dead. But on Friday, they had the street shut down setting up. So I know their permit was for Saturday and Sunday. Called LAPD. They went and they said, they checked if they had a permit. They said, yeah, they showed us two permits, one for Saturday and Sunday, and another one to shut down the street for Friday and through Sunday. I said, that makes no sense. The, BSS gives you one permit, it covers everything. Checked with the city, there was no permit for Friday. So unless you can find another permit, they showed LAPD a fake permit with the city seals that said BSS on it, and shut down the street. And the police left saying, well, it looked real, it looks real. We're going to allow it to happen. And and BSS says, no, they don't have any record of a permit for Friday. How long is this going to go on? There has to be repercussions for this stuff. And then at the Friday, the Father's Day event, okay, on L. Ron Hubbard Way, they kicked our cars out saying it's no parking. I asked the city to prove it's no parking. They cannot. Scientology sent some bogus letter from 1997 signed off by an engineer saying it's no parking. Engineers can't create no parking streets. They asked in 2010 for one. They did get one for a year and a half, no parking for Friday through Sunday, but that sunsetted in 2010. So there is no proof from 2010 to now that El.
The next speaker is Big Amy Merriam.
Good morning. Thank you very much. The first card of the day, and then always end up number 3. I really wish that I can submit a public record request. Which one of the officers are messing up with the card? And I think that's the reason why that there are millions of people hate you every day right now, most likely. I want to talk about, Chief, I want to talk about the recent protest, because several years ago, when I spoke to Chief Moore, I expressed my concern 4 or 5 days earlier than today, I asked Chief Moore. I said, I expressed my concern. I said, hey, all of a sudden, like attack on officer become the new normal. Some sort of insult an officer, assault an officer, throwing object towards an officer. That's the new normal of LA. I said, Chief Moore, you cannot continue to get on your knees in front of those looters. That's not how it works. That's not how to deal. That's not how you deal with the crime. That's not how you make sure a safe city. And then Chief Moore just laughed about it and said, thank you for your comments. And then right now, Chief McDonald, 5 years later, my comments become the truth. Right now, every time there's a protest, let me tell you a pattern. A Metro bus get burned, a Waymo car get burned, some sort of officer getting injury, and then some sort of close the intersection, traffic, everybody go to the freeway, everybody took over the street. So you already see the pattern. So unfortunately, I really hope I was wrong, but the reality you already know that continue to be soft on those looters and rioters and the so-called protesters, but AKA criminals, and then they're gonna continue to do even worse. Next year, actually not even, maybe Christmas, they're gonna have things even worse. And then maybe next year, they're gonna have a monthly No Kings protest. They're gonna have a weekly No Kings looting and rioting event. And then again, when you have a commissioner like Rasha Shield continue to do those Black Lives Matter thing, I'm really concerned that your department, your officers' safety is continue to be in jeopardy. And then I just really wish, I believe that Chief Moore is one of the best, other than so soft on the crime. So I really wish that you can fix the problem, because I believe Chief Moore is a very decent chief. I really, really like him. And I just really wish that too soft on crime is not gonna work. But if you are being so tough on crime, your commissioner gonna remove you. Your mayor gonna fire you. So being soft, being tough, I don't know, but your job is really hard. Second of all, Judge, you run a courtroom, but your court right now, there's no decorum. Judge.
The next speaker via Zoom is Star.
Good morning.
Good morning. Which
Can
items would you like to speak on?
can I speak on all items, please?
Okay, go ahead, 3 minutes.
Thank you so much. To the new police commissioner, I think you really have to take control of the room. I don't know. I just see mayhem in there, so we would appreciate it if there was, a little more obedience in there and you just took a little more action of what's going on in there. With that said, I would like to thank the chief. Thank you so much for your weekly report. And also, in regards to crime, Chief, I'm sure you know this. A lot of people are not recording or reporting their crimes. I know 3 for a fact where people are not reporting them. So when you show crime is down and other situations are down, please know that, citizens a lot are just not reporting what's going on for, thefts to catalytic converter thefts to other things of that sorts. And thank you for always supporting our police officers. LAPD is the best of the best, regardless of what you hear weekly. 99% of citizens support, appreciate, and want LAPD in our neighborhoods. And you were not wrong, Chief, a couple weeks ago when you said the attacks on officers are increasing. Absolutely 100%. And this has to stop. Every officer is entitled to go home safe and to their families and be safe out in the streets. This pointing lasers and this nonsense of attacking our officers has to stop. So thank you for being firm with that. And for, the comments where people say our LAPD is the most, racist and the most deadly. Absolutely not true. We're the finest, if not in the country, in the world. So thank you to every single officer that's out there risking their lives. We want you in our community. As a matter of fact, we want more. When crime happens, we're tired of being, unsafe in our homes. We're tired of people coming, and just last week in our neighborhood, 4 cars got broken into. Yes, we want, license plate readers. We want facial recognition. We want drones. We want it. Please, we're tired of this. We ask for your help. People that go to these meetings and say we don't want it, it's an invasion of privacy. No, what's an invasion of privacy is when we're sitting home and our cars are being looted and our cars are being robbed. That's an invasion of privacy. So they don't speak for us. We appreciate officers. We appreciate them keeping us safe, and we appreciate them risking their lives. And for and the attacks that they're enduring is ridiculous. As one yesterday who just lost his life, a young officer. So where's the outrage over that? So thank you, Chief. Please keep supporting our police officers. We support them. We might not get called on every week, but we're out here.
The next speaker, Jessica Ancana Herman.
This continual waste of public funds is supported by you, Jeff. Jeff, you're the biggest Ford dealer. Why are you doing this job? Is it worth the mental health? Is it worth the stress? So, Jeff, let me tell you about life. Life is really fucked up in this joint, but we're gonna deal with it. We're gonna cope with it. Let me tell you the story about the City of Industry. They receive 5 years of service, lifetime benefits, and no deductible. What does that mean, Jeff? It means that we're living in a criminal, corrupted government at local level. It means that society has turned on itself in its political, corrupted attitude of life. So soon, the great giver of the Jews is coming to destroy all wicked, polluted, evil motherfuckers. As you heard in many of the public comments, they talked about burglaries, they talked about crime, they talked about drugs, but they never mentioned about white-collar criminals like I'm mentioning today. That's why I submitted on the record case number 24 STCV 16690, Jeff. So you can get an understanding of my thoughts, my mental health, and your mental health soon. Jimmy knows. Jimmy and I know that this fucking city is run by Jews that destroy our fucking lives. That's the reason why God gave them up to disgusting, despicable things and created the disciples. 2 different lives. And the Roman over there that keeps speaking out loudly against me understands what I'm talking about. Simplified fucking faggots. So Snyder versus Phelps, Cohen versus California, and that jackass attorney on there should understand. This case involving Cruz versus Radecki, this is real fucking criminal white-collar crime shit. I want an investigation. Matter of fact, I want an investigation in the city of El Monte using Florida's gangs to support the goddamn motherfucking mayor, motherfucker.
Off topic.
I'm always off fucking topic, you moron.
No, you're not. You're not.
Oh, no, I'm not? Then let me get back to my public comment.
Get on.
42 USC 1983 politely.
No.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Yes.
The next speaker via Zoom,
Public
Steve
comment.
Riley. Steve Riley, are you on?
Yes, good morning.
Steve Riley,
Hello?
are you on?
Yes, can you hear me? Hello? 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 Hello, can you hear me?
Hear you. Please proceed, Mr. Riley.
Oh, okay, thank you. The United States of America is a constitutional republic. Christ is king and all lives matter. Sanchez Gordon, there is a section in California Code 403 PC disturbing a public meeting. I think you should utilize it when there are continual disturbances of the meeting. It's getting out of hand and you need to control the meeting. You are a judge, maybe you need a gavel. I'd like to offer condolences and prayers for San Bernardino Deputy Andrew Nunez, killed in the line of duty. Prayers and sympathy to his police family and to his family and friends. Looking at the crime stats, still, they're indecipherable. Does the LAPD not know how many arrests have been made up to October of this year? It's really unacceptable. Please, Police Commission, take a look at that page and see if you can understand what it means. Item 3, A to Y, consent agenda items. The Police Foundation makes many donations. Are we to believe that these donations are given without the expectation of special access or favors? Is this an LAPD oligarchy? What is it? It seems as though they're getting money from the Police Foundation. What are they getting in return? Maybe they are just philanthropists. Maybe there's something else going on. But we don't have any transparency there. By the way, October is, and I mentioned this last time, I believe 2 weeks ago, October is Italian American Heritage Month. I know that LaLey under item 4A is giving a verbal presentation on Hispanic Heritage Month, which went from September 15th to October 15th. There was no LAPD acknowledgement of Italian American Heritage Month. Italian Americans have made great contributions to law enforcement, to our military, and to our society in many ways. That should be rectified. The No Kings protest, we need federal, state, and local law enforcement working together. You need more officers, more force, more arrests, federal charges for violation of civil rights. It needs to be done. Examples need to be made of people. We do not have a king in this country. We have an elected president, and that's the way it is. The feds should be working with LAPD. LAPD should be working with the feds in enforcement of the law. I think I will leave it at that for today, and I'll have more to say next week. God bless LAPD. God save Los Angeles. Thank you.
The next speaker is Jonathan Foster.
Jonathan Foster. I left all my notes. I had to write this down. So 1 week, no OIS. 7.5 months since March. So here's my comments. The increase in shootings isn't the LAPD. It's the city charter, the city charter, the city charter, city charter. So moving on. A voice here a month ago said insufficient staff can't meet the needs of the public. Quote, there is no exemption of the law to confer lack of staff, end quote. This is one of the most important things that's been said here in the 6 years that I've been coming here. Moving on. So there was a commissioner that was picked. They picked a commissioner, so I did my research. Wanted to be a nurse or a lawyer, chose to be a lawyer because it makes more money. Got a BA, then a law degree with really great grades, got hired, 18 years of excellent service. And every girl had the opportunity to make these same choices, and only you did, Rasha. See, it's not that I like you a lot. That needs to change. I mean, I have a lot of respect for your accomplishments, not a cigarette-smoking beer bum. But I'll come back to you. There was the ABLE program. The ABLE program had 1 through 10. Number 5 was accountability. Number 7 was reporting. There was also officer wellness, follow-through, and paying it forward. So the commission needs to reinstate Philip Tabby. The commission needs to reinstate Philip Tabby. He meets all the able criteria. There was the arrest of Rindernick, and I knew there was an investigation. And this is all about he got dumped by a girl, and so he set the mountain on fire. It's this stupid. Next one, ICE and the commission. Your voice leads to never finding people. Girls getting raped or used for years. If your voice won and you stopped Trump, we would never have found these girls because Russia said so. Or Mother Teresa. See, I had respect for you, Russia, till you air slap me. And the reason you air slap me is because you think you know more than me and you think you have better judgment than me. And your judgment lets girls get raped with the judgment of Mother Teresa, too. Crime networks would never have been busted listening to you people. You people are dangerous people, really, really, really dangerous. So what if the dads got together or the moms or there were sister teams and they were rounding up and deporting? They got some sister killed in their family and the sisters were doing all the rounding up and deporting. What would you say? You can't do this? Is that what you say, you jerks? And thank God Poop Hole Errol is gone. He brought DACA into the LAPD. I hope he burns in hell, you female dog.
The next speaker, please. Tron Sun Ha.
Good morning, Police Chief Jim McDonald and everybody in this room. I want to say one more time again today, I'm here and very important for America. So I wish you can help me and speak up to all American people. You support me and America will change better for everybody in this room here. And we don't have to fighting with it's in here, you know. So and also the whole world will be changed better for all human rights. So I wish you support me, like I say, and speak to all American people, and you support Chen Sun Ha, and good change for everybody, and peacefully for America. So very important. So I need all of you support me and share this information I'm here today to the all American people and around the world, and good for everybody. And also I want you help me put my name in LAPD headquarters and good change forever for America. So can I talk to the gentleman in there, and I'm gonna do that. Yeah, thank you. So I love everybody. Please support me. A good change for us. It's not for me. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker, William Good.
Good morning. So first off, Teresa, make sure everybody speaks today. You don't have meetings for a couple of weeks and you cut off public comment. Let everybody speak. People spend time, take off of work. I spent $90 round trip today. That's what I'm going to spend on Ubers coming here. It's important to me. It's important to them. Make sure they speak. So you were asking about, or a speaker asked about foundation jobs and do they get special privilege? Jim knows. Jim just fired the PIO, Jennifer Forkish, because, quite honestly, she was telling too much truth to power. He couldn't handle it, so he worked with the Insali to get her fired, and you replaced him with who? A foundation guy, your buddy. You're going to pay him $250,000 a year, this guy, in a contract, and gave him a car to be the LAPD's content creator. That's what you guys are paying for. Now, you talked about the No Kings protest. Jeff asked you some good questions. You fucking lied to him, Jim. You lied to him. I was there the entire night. I was live streaming everything. None of that shit happened. There was a dispersal order that nobody could fucking hear. But that was sufficient. And then what happened? They started dancing in the street, and people started to leave. And within 3 minutes, the horses came in and started hitting people. And then you started shooting at journalists. Once again shooting at journalists. You know, you guys have violated the law, 409.7. Then the journalists go and get a restraining order against you, and you violated that. And then they go and get an injunction, and you violated that. And all of you people up there said nothing. God forbid one of you say, hey, McDonald, stop beating up journalists. You say nothing. And because you said nothing, I was at your fucking house last night, Teresa. I was walking up and down the street, putting up posters about how you do not protect the press, how you cover up for the LAPD. I was talking to your fucking neighbors. And when I went past their house, suddenly all the lights went off. You know, I will be back there again. You cut off comment, you keep on protecting the LAPD, you don't respond to my fucking emails. That's what's gonna keep on happening. And if you don't like it, go complain to the district attorney or the city attorney. They can get some too. Now back to your guy, Robert Port, who we've given all this fucking money to. I'm gonna tell you right now. This guy, they hired him to control all the LAPD social media accounts and to have their message. This guy knows nothing about social media. He's just a movie director who's good friends with him, became friends with him from Bratton? And now you give him a contract for $250,000 of our fucking money to be a content creator because this guy thinks that their problems are related to the press. They're not related to the press. They're related to your misconduct for the last 4 years. You've averaged 150 cops suspended. Last year, it was 77 under your leadership. Fuck you, Jim.
Thank you. The next speaker, please, Michael Ackerman.
At every meeting, there are accusations that human trafficking is occurring under the guise of religion. At the very minimum, I'd expect the police to release a speedy, specific, and impartial investigation report on these horrible accusations. This is your duty to the accusers, the accused, and the public. Yet this is not happening. I can imagine some possible excuses. The claims are stupid. They're crazy. I heard they're being handled at a higher level. But none of these excuses are actually reasons to dismiss accusations based upon their merits. In fact, they're reasons that detectives should put extra effort into an investigation report. Any officer making excuses similar to these should, of course, be severely reprimanded. But unlike the other people you hear from, I have no hope that the police will reform themselves. That is why I keep asking you commissioners to request a military-level investigation of police misconduct here and elsewhere. It is urgent. Let me add that I just heard the chief respond to a question by asking to do it offline. Please remember that all communications with board members should be on the public record in order to prevent the possibility of a serial meeting violation. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker, Jason Reedy.
All right, so on October 18th, your pigs drove through a crowd and hit a protester, assaulted and terrorized other demonstrators, and targeted Lexus Olivier Ray once again, this time firing a 40mm round at him while he was documenting your violence. And then pig Richard Rivera had the audacity to call Lexus fake press, a journalist who has been consistently harassed by this department and targeted for being a black man. Now, meanwhile, McDonald and his lackeys had the city attorney arguing in court that the LAPD should have the right to use force against members of the press simply because they have the potential to expose y'all. Was it Bilal Asali who told you to declare that unlawful assembly outside of Metro Detention Center at 7 p.m. that day? Speaking of media, Jim, no mention in your report of Jennifer Forkish, your propaganda information director, who you forced to resign. You know, the same one that Bilal told you to get rid of. Jennifer, who was responsible for your spin in the media and public, had this to say last week about her removal. Quote, when a leader mistakes accountability for disloyalty, anyone with integrity becomes a threat. In those moments, the message is unmistakable. Question authority and you become the problem. Nothing from the commissioners on that. And y'all oversee this hog. Now, I see you replaced the black pig with the son of some white swine. Jeffrey, Mr. Creepy Chatsworth, fuck you. You are a craven Zionist who went all the way to Israel to dress up as an IOF pig, and now you've become the LAPD's latest cheerleader. You declined to interview with the LA Times, but told the Public Safety Committee that your story is deeply tied to Los Angeles. No. It's deeply tied to Los Angeles pigs, right? Let's not forget scum of the earth, your daddy, Alan. Fuck him too. Your father, who looks up to white supremacists like Bill Bratton and Ed Davis. Now, this certified hog was a reserve chief in the sheriff's department and a peddler of pig propaganda. And just like your daddy, you're on this commission, not for accountability, but for marketing, right? Fuck your mama, Rami, a ratified bootlicker who spent 36 years as a civilian at the San Fernando Pig Department. And why did your family flee Cuba in 1969, right? By the age of 21, your mama was working with the pigs and met your daddy, who went around saying that his form of rebellion as a kid was being a republic. Now, Karen Bass appointed the son of the co-chair of Jim McDonald's 2014 campaign, sheriff's campaign, to oversee him. Make that make sense. Jim McDonald, the pinkest of pigs, has known little Jeffrey since he was in diapers. It's no secret that McDonald worked behind the scenes with Karen to secure Jeffrey's spot in this commission, especially considering that Jim once appointed Jeffrey's daddy to oversee the sheriff's department's reserve officer program. Now, Jeffrey, you are a proud Zionist and a defender of genocide, and it runs deep in your family. Does the public know about your sister, Jennifer Stemple, who wrote a children's book while you both celebrated the massacres of Palestinian children? Jennifer's book was written shortly after the glorious events of October 7th, and she put pen to paper because she said, and I quote, "Our existence was being threatened." In interviews, she described writing that book as therapeutic, as we all watched Israel eviscerate Gaza. Jeffrey, item 4F, your first meeting as commissioner, is a donation of another dog from a company named after Hitler's bunker. Are you going to call that anti-Semitic? Can't wait to hear your comments.
The next speaker, please. Daniel Sosa.
4F. You got it, Jeffrey?
Daniel Sosa.
Hi, my name is Daniel Sosa. It's tough to hear you lie about protesters on No King's Day arming themselves with metal poles and throwing rocks and bottles, because none of that happened. If any of that happened, let's see the videos. Let's see proof that it happened. I was there the whole evening, and the only violence I saw was perpetrated by LAPD. I heard you say a woman sustained a head injury after unintentional contact with a horse. No, it's on video. Officer Copeland swung down from his horse and hit her on the top of her head with a large stick. She required 6 staples. She was lucky she wasn't knocked unconscious and trampled by the horses. I have a few questions. Why is LAPD continuing to use violence against peaceful protesters and press, despite a court injunction prohibiting them from doing exactly that? Why is LAPD declaring unlawful assemblies on completely peaceful crowds? Why is LAPD consistently enforcing 4118 against peaceful protesters? Why are horses and flashbangs being used in conjunction with crowd control? Why is LAPD using prior restraint to block off streets in anticipation of protests? Why does LAPD continue to break the law, break its own policy, and expose the city to liability protest after protest? Why is Chief McDonald being influenced by U.S. Attorney Bill Essayli of the Trump administration on LAPD personnel decisions, as reported by the LA Times on October 11th? Will the commission please ask these questions to the chief and LAPD? Why did we just appoint a commissioner who has well-documented ties to LAPD and city officials? That's such an obvious conflict of interest. Isn't this supposed to be an independent, unbiased civilian body? How do you expect to earn the public's trust when you install people on the commission who have obvious conflicts of interest? Why does this body consistently act as a shield for LAPD accountability when it is supposed to be a vehicle for LAPD accountability? The lies, the spins, the conflicts of interest, and the refusal of this body to hold LAPD accountable in a meaningful way is why there is widespread distrust of LAPD here in Los Angeles.
The next speaker is Grace.
So this is what public safety looks like in Los Angeles. $42,000 worth of new surveillance toys, $300,000 in shotgun upgrades, and more than $100,000 for police banquets, relay races, and holiday parties. You call this accountability, we call it decadence and uniform. Automatic license plate readers, $35,000 of them don't protect anyone. They send data straight to federal agencies and real-time crime centers, turning every street corner into a checkpoint, every commute, every grocery run, every drive to work becomes an entry in a government database. These machines don't prevent harm, they expand the reach of the carceral state and make ICE's job easier. Another $8,000 goes to the ATF task force to convert recording devices, GPS trackers, and long-range surveillance optics. The ATF has already worked alongside ICE on raids that left people wounded and families traumatized, including this past week outside Santee High School, where ICE shot a community member. These donations are not benign, they are new chains for the same cage. And then there are the shotguns, 4,500 sighting systems worth more than $308,000. The department says this will make weapons safer and more effective. The only thing LAPD has ever made more effective is its ability to brutalize and kill. The language is always the same, while the reality is more people terrorized in their own neighborhoods. Meanwhile, as families fight to keep EBT from running out, LAPD donations includes over $108,000 for holiday banquets, leadership training, relay races, and anniversary celebrations. These are not harmless morale boosters. They are ceremonies of power. Every toast at these banquets is made with money soaked in our people's blood. Every anniversary marks another year of surveillance, another year of displacement. The department calls this safety. What it really builds is a fortress around itself. Armed, celebrated, and insulated from consequence. Los Angeles deserves better than a police state with a party budget. So while you welcome your newest commissioner, remember, you're not adding oversight to a fixable department. You're fortifying an inherently violent system that thrives on surveillance, reprieve, and control. You're expanding a machine that feeds on fear and calls it safety, that brutalizes the poor and calls it order. A police state of surveillance and spectacle funded by the suffering of the very people you claim to serve. And Jeff Scobin doesn't need to learn this system. You're its natural heir, bred by the same machinery of profit, policing, and propaganda that keeps this city caged. Shame.
Hamid Khan.
So we have another overseer on the crew. Another overseer added to this whole litany of shock absorber of the system, and I don't know how your shock absorber is going to be taking all it in, but I just want to lift something that Grace just said, that you are a natural ear. Absolutely. This is how nepotism works. This is how it goes. So the question is that to you, Scobin, and the rest of the I don't even know what to call you all, that he said that earlier in his comments that, and keeps on saying it over and over again, that the LAPD does not work with the federal government or ICE or CBP or ATF or any of these. But in the same breath, we have $35,000 more going to license plate readers and flock safety. Flock safety is there's not a week that goes by that flock safety is not in the news, including LAPD's license plate readers, where they are generating data and transmitting it directly to ICE. ICE has a huge contract with flock safety as well. So, any one of you even bothered to ask that question? Any one of you, Jeff Scobin, did you even read what they're doing? Do you even know anything about CopLink? Do you even know anything about crime tracers? Do you even know anything about the Real-Time Crime Center? Which brings me to another thing, that we sent a whole public records request. And LAPD comes back and says there are no Real-Time Crime Center. But then we go to the city hall and we find out that they have a real-time crime center that they're opening up they have one in the LAPD headquarters. Now, who's fucking telling the fact and who's lying? And this is a public records. This is a public record request that LAPD continues to lie and generate bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. So that's what we are talking about. That's what people are here every week to disrupt and expose, to disrupt and expose, and let the world know and build that power and build that people's power to shut this shit down. Do you know anything about ACCICs? You don't. Do you know anything about CSOCs, the Community Safety Operations Centers? You don't. Do you know anything? And I'm just looking at him, but I'm looking at all of you as well. Anything at all. That how people are being deported, how this whole thing is being orchestrated, how information sharing is happening. He's going to keep on lying because that's what they train them in the academy. That's the first thing that is taught, that lie on the stand. And when a question is asked, well, just talk to me on the side. And this whole facade, this whole bullshit, but it's not that, we're not going anywhere. We're back here every week, and we're going to keep on exposing you. We're going to keep on disrupting you, because shit is not going to continue.
Thank you. And we have reached our 45-minute limit, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. This concludes public comment. The commission will take a 10-minute recess. Madam Secretary?
Okay, we're back in open session. Okay, we are on item number 3. We are on item number 3, consent.
Okay, you are all being warned. You are all being disruptive. The Board of Police Commissioners cannot conduct an orderly meeting because the people are being disruptive, yelling. This creates an actual disruption. If it does not stop immediately, I will order the room cleared pursuant to Government Code Section 4959.9.
Okay, we are on item number 3, consent agenda items.
Because the disruptions have not stopped and the board is unable to conduct an orderly meeting, I am ordering the room cleared pursuant to California Code Section 4957.9. The room has been ordered cleared. Members of the public who fail to leave the room immediately will be deemed disruptive and will not be permitted to re-enter when the meeting resumes. Madam Secretary?
We are back in open session. We are on item number 3, consent agenda items. Would a commissioner wish to pull any item for discussion, 3A through 3Y?
I
one
would.
moment, please.
I'd like to pull
Let me-
3V.
3V as in Victor? We will pull 3V.
Are there any other items? Okay.
Commissioner? No?
Okay.
No. Maria?
Okay.
The answer is no.
Is there a motion to approve items 3A, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, and,
Sorry, I think it was V that was pulled, not B.
oh, not V, okay.
Yes, V
Okay.
as in,
Is
V
there a
as in
motion
Victor,
to-
Maria.
Okay, is there a motion to approve items A through Y?
Minus V.
Minus V.
Minus V?
Motion to approve.
Is there a
There
second?
is a motion to approve by Commissioner Fabian Garcia. Second?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. 4-0. We're now on item number V.
Okay, we
Departments.
have a department report dated October 8th, 2025, relative to the donation of the automated license plate recognition cameras valued at $35,000 from the Los Angeles Police Foundation for the benefit of the Wilshire area as set forth.
Okay, we have Captain Gonzalez online. Mr. Gonzalez, Captain Gonzalez, are you?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes. Go ahead.
Good morning. So yes,
Captain Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Commissioner Sanchez Gordon. We're having a difficulty hearing the person calling in. I don't know if you can finagle something on your end to make it clearer and louder. Could you try that?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
You may proceed.
Okay, so obviously this request is for 5 cameras, flock safety cameras, includes permitting, and the installation and then the maintenance. So this is a collaboration between Council District number 5 and the Beverly Grove Neighborhood Association. They're the ones who actually decided to seek a camera system or camera systems, and then contracted or at least met with Flock Systems and decided to get these cameras. That's the request. They've pre-selected, both CD5 and Beverly Grove Neighborhood Association has pre-selected 5 locations where they believe the cameras will best serve. And so for us, the real-time cameras, obviously, that we would use to help solve crime and prevent crime. As you guys know, these cameras can be witnesses for us through information gathering of those suspected crimes. And so we would tap those cameras for that. The information, the photos obtained from the cameras will help develop leads and evidence for us, and also serve as a resource efficiency for us. Because if we find vehicles that we're looking for, we can enter information into the Flock system. And then when the vehicle gets located, it would alert our police officers of the location of those vehicles. That's all I have. Any technical questions, I would defer to Commander Randy Goddard from ITB. I think he's on the line as well, but that is the request.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from any commissioners? You have a question?
Yeah, I do.
Mr. Govan, you may proceed.
You know, I call this just because in part of my confirmation process, ALPRs was a topic of conversation extensively. You know, to me and listening to others, it's clear that it's an effective tool. And there's also concerns about data sharing and how the information's accessed, et cetera. So my question in this specific situation, who owns the data? And ultimately, you know, what assurances do we have that those with access are following the laws as it relates to data sharing and accessing of the data?
Yeah, good morning, Commissioners. Commander Randy Goddard, I'm the Acting Commanding Officer of Information Technology Bureau, also the Acting Chief Information Officer. So, good question. That question has come up quite a few times at the Public Safety Committee here at the Commission. We own the data. That data is not to be shared with anyone without the MOA express permission that would be signed by the Chief of Police. Currently, we only have 5 of those MOAs with local jurisdictions. We're also governed by state law. State law is very clear. No agency within the state of California can share any data, ALPR data, with an outside agency in another state, nor with any federal agency, including Immigration Customs Enforcement, DHS, and so on.
So I don't know if this is an appropriate question for you. It's a bigger picture question. I'm glad to hear all that. I'm glad to hear we own the data, et cetera. There's been media assertions that, you know, some of this data in other areas may have been used inappropriately. Do we know if that's accurate or not? You know, I ask these questions because, you know, obviously trust is going to be inherent for us to be successful, especially as we look to expand technology to make us more efficient and better at our job as a department. And, you know, if we don't have trust, we don't have anything. And so the last thing that I would want is to have an effective tool, you know, and not be able to use it because maybe we don't have systems in place or audits in place. So It's probably a bigger question, but as it relates to this, I'd like to better understand, what auditing we have after the fact to ensure that these laws and protocols are being followed, so that ultimately, if they're not, we can hold those accountable to give us the confidence to continue to implement this technology.
Yeah, absolutely. So per department policy, the LPR data is audited by audit division on audit division's audit calendar. ITB also presents to this commission on a yearly basis our comprehensive technology report, which is an audit on top of the audit that an audit division would do regarding LPR data, how many reads we have, how many hits we have, how that data is being used. On top of that, ITB is also doing monthly inspections, first week of every month, specifically around the issues of data sharing with federal government agencies. So in those inspections, we'll put in keywords. So every time a user logs onto the LPR system, it basically tracks every keystroke they do. So when they go into the system, it tracks when they logged on, who they were, date, time. When they go and put in a license plate or do a search within the system, it tracks what they're searching for and the reason they're searching. They have to put a reason they're searching. It can't just be because, it has to be for need to know, right to know for criminal investigations. So we do inspections to put in keywords of things that they would be doing investigations for to see if anything's coming up, like immigration, ICE, DHS, any type of keyword that we believe is related to the issues that are coming up right now in the public eye, to make sure that our users are using that tool, to your point, which is very valuable for criminal investigations, the right way in accordance with the state law, in accordance with department policy. We take it very seriously. It's not a tool that we want to lose. Like Captain Gonzalez talked about, most of our investigations, we have burglaries in the city of Los Angeles. If a CCTV camera were able to catch a suspect vehicle, but didn't catch the license plate, well, we don't know a license plate. We don't have anywhere to go. We're dead in our water. ALPR then, we can put in, the vehicle was this color. The vehicle was this make. And it went in this area at this time. We can put that information into the LPR system, and that will give us a list of vehicles that match that description. And then it's up to the human detective then to do research on those vehicles and hopefully narrow down the vehicle to where they've identified a potential suspect vehicle. That tool, just like many tools we've used for decades, is a tool that allows us to do what our mission is, which is to reduce the fear and incidence of crime. We exist as a police department for that reason. We're now in the 21st century. Not only LAPD, but every agency in the United States are using these tools to help ultimately protect public safety. And we take it seriously and make sure that we're using those tools constitutionally with department policy and state law, and we're doing checks and balances with audits and inspections to make sure our users are using it. And if there happen to be a case, which there has not been, where a user is using that tool inappropriately, not consistent with department policy, then appropriate action would be taken, including disciplinary action.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, and I definitely support technology. I'd be interested to understand, we must inspect what we expect. And so whatever is available to us from a auditing, transparency, communication standpoint, to ensure that what we expect of those accessing this is what's happening. I'd love to understand what that might look like. Again, this is one of the kind of the key hot topics that I heard as, a positive technology that's working for us and concerns about how it might be used. So I just feel like it's important for us to really be front and center about this, transparent about it, so that we gain some trust around being able to expand it.
Yes, sir.
Chief, would you like to add anything?
No, other than that, we'd love to be able to provide a presentation and some background for Commissioner Scobin relative to our audit calendar and procedure, and maybe to meet some of the folks who are actually engaged in that work on a regular basis. We have a lot of safeguards in place, and I'd love to be able to share those with everyone.
Thank you. any of our commissioners? Commissioner Shields?
Yes, I had a couple of follow-up questions, and I do think that the Inspector General's office may also have ALPRs on their list of audit things too. So in addition to the department's internal auditing, the Inspector General's office will also be doing some additional oversight of that. My question is, Commander Goddard, just in terms of the specific requests here, both it looks like they've identified the specific, service provider and also specific locations. How do we confirm and you make sure that this technology is compatible with our vision of like real-time crime center? And are they compatible? And then also in terms of prioritizing the specific locations, does this fall into a greater scheme, greater plan by the department of how this will work once we develop further the real-time crime centers?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. So right now, the city nor the department has a specific contract with any ALPR vendor for fixed ALPR cameras. It's something that we are doing evaluations with various vendors to see which ALPR cameras meets the specifications of the department for those reasons that you stated in the second part of your question with regards to, we have a lot of partners in the technology space. And what we want to make sure is if we're buying vendor A for ALPR, we want to make sure vendor A works with vendor B for real-time crime center software or drone as a first responder or any other sensors that we use to bring in information and identifying suspects. So right now, the two platforms that users within the department have access to do searches is through Vigilant, which is ALPR vendor. We have a contract with Vigilant to provide 28 per calendar year mobile ALPR systems on our black and whites. And the users use what's called Learn, which is a user interface to do queries against that. The secondary vendor, which we have an MOU with to allow us to use the user interface to do searches, is from Flock. And in this case, what we see these donations is, to Captain Gonzalez's point, is what will happen is community groups will go to the police foundation, they'll raise funds, they'll say we want ALPR cameras, and then the foundation will buy the Flock cameras and donate those Flock cameras to the department. In most cases, as Captain Gonzalez indicated, they've indicated locations that the community wants those cameras in. Now, obviously, with the crisis that we're in fiscally, anytime we can improve infrastructure in the city, it's a great thing. And when general funds become available or grants become available, that's one less area I've got to spend those general funds in. I can spend those in other parts of the city that maybe haven't had an opportunity to raise funds. So that we do have a good layer of technology throughout the entire city so that we can protect the entire city. But moving forward, I'm really interested in looking at vendors that ensure that, one, the data is ours, meaning that data is ours, that data is not going anywhere but to us, and that we as a customer, if we decide that we need to share that data through an API, through some of these other partners that we have, that's all within the CGIS environment, that's all within a government cloud, that's all secure, highest cybersecurity standards, that should be the customer's decision to do that. So until we find that situation, that's why we don't have a contract right now.
So as of now, it's okay to accept the Flock cameras, but in the future, there may be a time when the department has another vendor that is the preferred vendor. I just want to make sure that donations by the foundation don't dictate the technology that the department uses, and it should be vice versa, right? It should be finding things that the department has determined is the appropriate technology for the department, and then any outside donations follow that model.
Absolutely, and we have the ability to accept those donations today, and that is one of the premier ALPR cameras on the market today. But we're always looking for that continuous quality through continuous improvement, always looking for better innovation, always looking for competition, always looking for better prices to get the most out of our tax dollars. So that may not be the case 6 months from now or a year from now. But until that point, these donations are definitely appreciated. I think they help the communities and ultimately reduce the crime.
Great, thank you. Those are my questions. Thank you, President.
Thank you. Commissioner Garcia?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Garcia, any questions? Thank you. Do you have a
Two
question?
quick follow-ups.
Commissioner
So
Scobin?
I think you touched on it, but just for clarity, so does Flock under the current arrangement, if we were to accept these, allow LAPD to, we own the data, so are we able to share it within our LAPD ecosystem of technology and vendors?
Depends who you ask. You ask me as the subject matter expert, the customer's perspective, I would say no. We're not at a point where I'm comfortable with it yet to be able to completely get the full data set and move to some of our other third-party vendors. I'm in talks with the vendors, not only myself, but as a region in Southern California. A lot of the other customers are in talks. And then I also sit on Major City Chiefs Association Technology Panel, and this is an issue that agencies are facing across the nation. So it's really incumbent upon agencies to come together and demand that, unless we're able to have interoperability with different partners that we have, that we're just not going to do business with you. So that's going to be a decision, a business decision for whatever vendor that is. Do they want to cooperate with the customers and share that data, or do they not want to, and then customers go somewhere else?
Because would it be accurate to say ultimately that the maximum effectiveness of it would have the ability to do that?
Absolutely.
And then I want to go back to one last thing, and again, not specific to this, but it's important to me to ask just because of what I just went through. But is it the department's position that the press accounts about any improper use are inaccurate?
I can't give an opinion with regards to what journalism is accurate or not. I just know for the city of Los Angeles, we have checks and balances, and there has not been any sharing of data with any other government agency at the federal level.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask Inspector General Brian Buckner, do you have any question on any comment, any question on this?
Thank you, Commissioner. Just to follow up on Commissioner Scobin's question and Commissioner Shields' comment, the Inspector General's office is in the process of doing an ALPR audit currently. That report will then be brought before the Board of Commissioners in public setting.
Thank you very much. All right, any other question? All right, well, Commander, thank you very much. You answered all our questions and very thoroughly. We appreciate it.
Is there a motion to approve item 3V?
Motion?
I move.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. We're now on the regular agenda item. And we have a verbal presentation by Latin American Law Enforcement Association, LALE. We have Captain Selena Robles. Excuse me, 1 minute.
Good morning, Madam President, Board of Police Commissioners, City Attorney De La Guerra, Executive Director, Chief of Police, and Acting Attorney General, Inspector General. My name is Selena Robles. I am the president of the Latin American Law Enforcement Association, also known as LALE. With me today is our Vice President, Captain Silvia Sanchez. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to showcase LALE in our collaborative efforts with the department, affinity groups, and our community. LALE was established in 1967, and throughout our history, we have worked diligently to advance professional development, encourage service and advocacy, and build community trust and foster relationships. Our LALE Board of Directors has diverse representatives from our rank and file, including a civilian board director, Dusty Smith, to ensure critical voice is heard to represent our right-hand partners, our professional staff. We credit our professional staff for elevating our department with their subject matter expertise in an array of fields and appreciate them in recognition of Civilian Appreciation Month. Since our inception, we have taken pride in advocating for positive and meaningful change. As for our history, the origins of LAPD officers of Hispanic and Latino descent traces well into the department's founding. In 1876, Juan Jose Carrillo became the first Hispanic chief of police. Chief Carrillo is credited for designing our department's first uniform and badge after City Council directed the department to design a uniform. Josephine Serrano Collier became the first female Hispanic officer as a rank of policewoman in October of 1946. In 1971, Captain Rudy De Leon was noted as one of the department's first Hispanic Latino police captains. His efforts with the Hollenbeck area community established strong roots in youth programs offered today by the department-wide. In 2015, Commander Ann Clark became the first Latina commander. Last year, on February 11th, 2024, we witnessed the promotion of Deputy Chief Ruby Flores, who became the first Latina female in LAPD history to achieve this rank. The significance of her achievement cannot be underscored. LALE is proud to share history and culture and to honor the many contributions made by Hispanics and Latinos throughout the history of our department and the city of Los Angeles. On October 24th, 2025, we hosted Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you, Madam President, Chief of Police, Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez, and City Attorney Haiti Faldstein for your support. To highlight our efforts, LA City View Channel 35 featured our event with the following video. Today, we're inside police headquarters with the Los Angeles Police Department. We're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, really honoring our history, our culture, our values. And we're here with our community, our friends, our family, distinguished guests.
Latino Heritage Month is something I practice and exercise every day. I don't get to erase my family history. I carry that with me very proudly each and every day. And I'm here to be the very best representation of what my community is.
We'd like to issue you this plaque in gratitude and appreciation for your strength, your courage, your perseverance, and how strong-willed you are in fulfilling your purpose.
Although we are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, this event is attended by all of the officers and employees of the city. I came last year and I was really pleased to participate in one of the most diverse gatherings I've attended in a long time.
The diversity of this department reflects the demographics of our city, which is primarily Latino, and it's important for all of the members of the department to be recognized and celebrated for their contributions to our city.
Thank you very much.
We're just celebrating the past accomplishments and the future accomplishments that we are dedicated and committed to accomplishing.
When I look around at this courtyard today, I'm reminded that our department is stronger because of the diversity of the people who make it up, both sworn and civilian.
I'm very proud to be the third Latina in the city's history ever to serve on the LA City Council, but I'm just more proud that I get to be part of the representation of my community here in the great city of Los Angeles.
Diversity is important. Unity is our goal. We are always arcing toward a more perfect union with all of our communities and all of the beautiful parts of our city and our culture and our communities represented.
Good morning, everybody. Although we recognize the progress of the LAPD to ensure proper Hispanic representation at the highest levels, the charts that you're seeing on the screen now reflects the following. It shows that 23% of the department is Caucasian, if you look at the lower right chart. And 34% of those Caucasian sworn employees are in the command staff. Then we show that in terms of African American employees, we have 8% throughout the department,
15% of which are in command staff. In terms of Asians, we have 8% within the department, 18% are in the command staff. However, in terms of Hispanic or Latino and Latina sworn officers within the department, we represent 57% of the department, and only 32% of them are in the command staff. And when you break that down in terms of male versus female, we're showing that out of 1,053 female sworn Hispanic employees on LAPD, we only have 12 represented in the highest levels of the command. And as far as male Hispanic employees within LAPD, we have 3,870, which is depicted on the top left chart, and only 26 of those individuals are within the command staff of the department. Just something to bring to your awareness. In terms of our organization, LALE will continue to hold seminars and do mentoring department-wide for both sworn and civilian employees. We're going to continue to hold mock orals and ensure that our Hispanic officers and civilian employees are considered for staff level positions moving forward. And in terms of LALE, our current initiatives is we are very engaged with the community. We did participate in an immigration community forum where 1,500 community members were present to voice their concerns with the current issues with immigration, and where we were able to explain what our role is as the Los Angeles Police Department. This was held in a church in Westlake area, and present were Captain Manny Chavez, Commander Lillian Carranza, Deputy Chief German Hurtado, who is our immigration liaison, and they shared the department's posture in terms of how we interact with ICE and when we respond to any ICE requests. And that would only be if they're requesting help in terms of safety issues. We continue to be committed as LALE to our community to make sure that we ensure transparency and constitutional policing, regardless of where someone is born or their legal status. Since 1979, it's been our policy that we have been in compliance with Special Order Number 40 in terms of, what our role is in law enforcement when it comes to ICE. In terms of education, outreach, discussion, and proactive relationships with our community to make sure that they understand our posture as LAPD, and that to make sure that our community leaders understand it as well, and that it is set forth in the California Values Act, and that we're reflecting that as well. Okay. Sorry, here you go. LALE would like to recognize our prior Board of Police Commissioner, Sandra Figueroa, for her many decades in leadership in advancing social justice. In response to our advocacy, a City Council motion was introduced on September 12, 2025, to move that the intersection at West Sunset and Lemoyne be named Sandra Figueroa Villa Square. So that's quite an accomplishment. In a similar fashion, Irene Tovar, which is a fierce advocate of Latinos to prominent positions, a motion was also introduced to name the area of Hubbard and Eldridge as Irene Tovar Square as well.
We just want to let you know that LALE is committed to wellness and are appreciative of the efforts of the Family Support Group, an organization that hosted the Special Remembrance Walk last year to honor our loved ones. Also, we want to recognize that October is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Month. This month holds a special meaning for my late son, Noah Antonio Robles, and all the grieving parents who have suffered a profound loss. We're committed to bringing awareness to mental health and wellness, improving outcomes for all. Special thank you to Councilwomen Katie Yaroslavsky and Tracy Park for introducing a motion last October, instructing the City Administrative Officer and the Personnel Department to report on the feasibility and implications of amending the Los Angeles Administrative Code Section 4.127.2 to expand the leave time after late term and term stillbirth to allow for full recovery from these traumatic events. In keeping with our posture of employee wellness, as president of LALE, I will continue to prioritize work-life balance for all sworn and professional staff members. We did so at a recent Pacific Wellness Day on October 15, 2025. Many of our members are also peer support leaders who work under the incredible leadership of BSS team, Dr. Edric Dorian and Dr. Madeline Sanchez. Beyond this, LALE has been relied upon to extend our support to families to increase morale internally and externally in our community and conduct outreach to connect our very own with services and advocate for concerns that have tragically impacted their families. On October 11, 2025, we supported Assistant Chief Amada Tingrides with bringing awareness to MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, in honor of her beloved son, Christopher Castillo. The message is clear: impaired driving ends here. Let's do our part to save lives. On this slide, we feature our commitment to leadership and training. With the support of Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez, LALE sponsored 20 members to attend women's leaders in law enforcement training for a 4-day conference in San Diego. Both men and women attended this valuable training from September 2nd through September 5th of 2025. As part of our advancement efforts, we provide scholarship opportunities for our members and our members' children. This year, we'll host our holiday scholarship event on December 10th, 2025, where we will award recipients, our members' children, with funding for high school and college students. For the first time, we will also award a scholarship award in honor of my son, Noah Robles, for freshman and sophomore students.
In conclusion, affinity groups are working together to bring the mural to light on LAPD Academy grounds. It's a mural that you see on the screen. It's been conceptualized to depict the department's trailblazers. Alice Stebbins Wells, the department's first policewoman appointed in 1909. Georgia Ann Robinson is the department's first African-American policewoman appointed in 1916. Josephine Serrano Collier, the department's first Hispanic or Latina policewoman appointed in 1946. Joyce Cano, the department's first Asian Pacific Islander policewoman appointed in 1967. And accompanying these females are Sergeant Fanchon Blake in honor of her legal efforts to advance women and minority groups within LAPD, and Officer Tina Cabrat, the first female LAPD officer killed in the line of duty in 1991. Thank you for your time.
That concludes our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President Selena Robles and Vice President Sanchez. I'm going to ask my commissioners if they have any questions. We'll start with Commissioner Shields.
Thank you, President, and thank you all for the great presentation. It's always so enlightening and informative. And, LALE has been something that I've seen from even before my time on the commission. I remember the presentation being done by LALE when I was on the advisory committee to the police commission, and I always knew that you all did so much groundwork and had so much, finger on the pulse of what's happening in the department. And so I just really appreciate, I've seen you as a resource, and attended many of the events that you all have put on, and just very impressed by the breadth of it, both, in terms of community engagement, which especially right now with everything happening in the world, that cannot be understated of how important of a role you all play with those events and helping us connect more with the community that we serve. To the scholarship events and seeing the bright new students that are being recognized. And also, the efforts that you do to demystify the process for elevation within the department by training people of how to prepare for interviews and things like that. And it's a service that's offered for everyone in the department. And I've been privileged to see you all sit through those meetings and again, such great advice being provided. I hope everyone takes advantage of what you are doing. And even on a personal note, thank you so much for helping us when we were going through the chief of police selection process and having your representation, having your seat at the table and advising on what is being heard and what people are saying, and also surveying your members with what do they want to see in the next police chief. So I just see there's so many positive aspects that you all play, and I'm glad that there will be a new scholarship in honor of baby Noah. And thank you for all the effort that you all put in on the wellness aspect of, making sure that the officers within the department are properly supported through. So thank you for the presentation. I don't have any questions, but really impressed by your work, and thank you for the continued great work.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner Shields. I think everyone here shares what you just expressed. Commissioner Garcia?
Yeah, thank you all for the presentation. Ditto to what everything Commissioner Shields just mentioned in terms of your history and what you've been able to do to advance diversity in the department. Also, you shared the sort of support and services that are available as a member of LALE. Can you talk a little bit about how those support and services are connecting to the data that you shared in terms of the diversity in the department and potentially the need for more diversity at the higher ranks of the department?
Yes, the demographics we shared will pull directly from the data that is provided within our line system, within our police department data information. And I think it's critical that we represent and mirror our community that we protect and serve. So it's significant as far as the command staff level representation is concerned. We do recognize there is definitely improvement and we're moving in the right direction, but we just want to continue to let it be known that there's still improvement that needs to be made.
I echo what Selena said. In universities, they're talking today that by 2050, over 50% of the United States will be Spanish speaking. So we can't emphasize how important it is for us to make sure that we have equal representation within the department in terms of lieutenants and below, but also captains and above. And, LALE would be more than happy to participate in any immigration community forums. Selena and I are both very fluent in Spanish, and we can help communicate with the community what our role is as a department when it comes to ICE enforcement and what our role is not.
Thank you. You mentioned 750 members. What would you say to encourage more officers to be members of LALE?
I encourage all officers to be members of LALE. We're we don't exclude anyone. Like the Commissioner Shields mentioned, we include every representative to join our seminars so that we can support them. The benefit of LALE is that we provide scholarships. We've given over $60,000 dollars worth of scholarships. We give training reimbursements. We do mentorship programs one-on-one, mock interviews. We provide training opportunities like we did so in San Diego. And we're always available on 24/7 basis. We always provide peer support training. Captain Silva Sanchez and I are both peer support members, so we offer that wellness piece as well. We prioritize wellness because it's critical that we have a work-life balance to ensure that our officers are not fatigued and are able to provide well-rounded services, quality service to our community members at all times.
And, as a reason with the current climate that's going on, there were some questions in a particular division regarding whether people can speak Spanish at work, and the answer is yes. And so that was something that I communicated with that commanding officer and provided the knowledge and the training on what, should be disseminated to his employees. And so we mitigate things that could be potential liability for the city moving forward in terms of how we treat our Latino and Latina employees, both civilian and sworn.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it again for your leadership and really your ongoing dedication to not only advancing officers in the department, but really that engagement piece of the community, ensuring that the community trust is protected.
Yes.
And especially, as you mentioned, the diversity of the city itself and the languages that are spoken in the city. So thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Scobin?
I echo my fellow commissioner sentiments on everything that you guys are doing. It's incredible, especially at times like now. My question has to do with the LALE Educational Foundation. I'm curious, what's the status of the foundation and if there's anything to learn or understand about it?
Just to clarify, we're an association. There is a partner foundation with LALE, but for us, it's a LALE association. And we're committed every year to giving our members and our members' children scholarship opportunities, and we give them awards. There's a process, an essay that they write, and an overall assessment of their education so that we can advance their education opportunities and promote college-bound students to ensure they have a future and career, not only in law enforcement, but other avenues that they pursue in their careers. But we're very open to providing scholarships to our members and our members' children every year.
Yeah, my understanding, the Lele Educational Foundation raised funds for scholarships that went to underserved students, some of whom will hopefully pursue a career in law enforcement. So I was just kind of curious to see if it's still.
Our funds are handled by our financial advisor, so it's through the membership. Every month or bi-weekly, our membership is $2.50, the least expensive affinity group, so we are definitely proud of that. But that's how our funds are allocated through the financial services that we get, and through that component, then we use those funding to promote scholarship awards.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Well, all I can say is I echo every sentiment here expressed by each of my commissioners, and I think you guys are doing a tremendous job. I congratulate your leadership, your vision, all the work that you're doing throughout the city. It touches so many lives, and I think your representation in our city as officers of color during this time in our city, which is so precedented and unsettling, is so important that our community sees that our department is represented. And I do believe that we could be represented much higher, especially in those leadership positions. But I think that the steps that you are taking and the vision that you have and the commitment that you have will make that happen. I congratulate you again. I'm here to help you in every way I can. Muchísimas gracias.
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 Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
We're now on item number 5, closed session. The Board of Police Commissioners will now recess into closed session to discuss item numbers 5A and 5B in accordance with Government Code 54957.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Secretary.
Board of Police Commissioners has concluded its work in closed session. We are back in open session. The Executive Director will report out on item 5A.
So item 5A1, which is officer-involved shooting, case number 052-24. At the regular meeting of the Board of Police Commissioners on October 28, 2025, during the closed session, the board made the following findings by a 4-0 vote. For tactics, tactical debrief, 1 Sergeant 1, 1 Police Officer 3, 1 Police Officer 2, and 1 Police Officer 1. For drawing and exhibition of a firearm, in policy, no further action, 1 Police Officer 3, 1 Police Officer 2, and 1 Police Officer 1. For intermediate use of force, in policy, no further action, 1 Police Officer 3. And for lethal use of force, in policy, no further action, 1 Police Officer 2 and 1 Police Officer 1. That concludes the report out for item 5A, and over to Ms. Silva for item 5B.
In closed session, item 5B was discussed and adjudicated. We are now at adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.